Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to another Tech Tips 411 Gen 10 Ideas series episode. Super excited for those of you that have joining me live. If you're here, let me know you're here by dropping a comment in the chat so that I know you're here. If you're watching this from the future, thanks so much for tuning in. So super excited today to talk to you about Canva. So Canva is probably one of my new favorite tools that I've been using a lot lately. And so I'm going to share 10 ideas for using Canva in your practice as an educator to engage your learners. And in addition to that, use it in teaching so your students can create content as well. So let's go ahead and dive in. If this is the first time you've seen one of these episodes, you stumbled across it on YouTube or Facebook, my name is Jennifer Hall, and I'm an educational technology specialist in Atlanta Public Schools. And what that means is I provide technology training to teachers in the district and plan with them to effectively integrate instructional technology in their standards-based lessons. So excited that you're here and tuning in today. Thanks so much, Amy. Glad that you are excited to learn about Canva. Awesome. So let's dive in. The goals for these sessions are pretty straightforward. And what that means is that we're going to have a different session, 10 ideas. It's pretty quick form. It's not a training session. It's really actually just a how-to. So we're going to go ahead and dive in and talk about these 10 ideas. So idea number one. And this is what brought me back to Canva. Like, I was using Canva a while ago, and then this was shared with me, and I was like, this is magical. Check it out. A Zoom background. Idea number one. They've already got templates to create Zoom backgrounds. Since we've got to be out digitally, we're connecting with our students. How cool is it to make backgrounds? Now, I did an animated one over here because, hello, I wanted to make it look like I was at the Georgia Aquarium because we can't go anywhere on quarantine. But I would say that would be fun to do, the animated ones, but not too often. But, so it's not too distracting. It would be kind of a good introduction with your students. But I think it'd be a lot of fun to have different Zoom backgrounds. In fact, in my district, we actually created Zoom backgrounds that could be easily used and shared out with students so that would be safe for them to use, because a lot of students aren't wanting to show, their homes, and that's fine. And you as teachers, you don't necessarily want to share that as well. So creating a Zoom background is idea number one, and they've got easy use templates in there. So I'm going to go through my 10 ideas, and then we're going to click through and hop around inside of Canva, and I'm going to show you some of these ideas then. So we got idea number one, creating a Zoom background. All right, idea number two. I use it all the time for social media posts. So what's great is you can go in and say, I want to post to Twitter. So it's going to give you the exact size that you need for that. So that's a really good option to have that. So if you want to go to Twitter, you want to go to Facebook, you want to go to Instagram, you put that in, you search for a template that's that right size, because each of the social media platforms have different sizes. And so that can be a little bit of a challenge to know which one is which. So I use it for my posts. So this is actually an excerpt of the one that I did when I advertised my summer PD series that I did. If you didn't get to watch that, you can check that out on the channel. I've got a link below for that summer PD series. I did a bunch of different PDs there. So for social media posts, what's really powerful about Canva is, I'm sure the first question someone's going to ask me is it free? So Canva is free. They have a free version, and then they have a paid version, and then they have an educator option, and we'll talk about that. So for free, you can access it on the web. You get access to a number of the templates, and then it will show you the premium ones that you need to pay to have access to. But there's a mobile app as well, which is great. So you can design on your computer, come up with these amazing designs, and then open up your app and be like, boom, I want to send that to Twitter. Boom, I want to send that to Instagram. So if you're one of those folks that has your own teacher Twitter or a classroom Twitter account or an Instagram, you can easily create posts that are going to go out to your followers and do that in Canva. And they're really slick because it's drag and drop interface. All right, so that's idea number two. Idea number three is YouTube thumbnails. And you might say, okay, really, a YouTube thumbnail? What I love is that it gives me the exact dimensions that I want, and I can create a template and then just duplicate that and reuse it as I'm creating content. So this is actually a thumbnail for a video I created on creating Zoom backgrounds using Canva. So I do a lot of videos, and you as an instructor might be creating a number of videos for your students. And so you might want to create something that's that could be reused. Makes it very easy for you to just duplicate that and move it and switch it out with the content. So I have like a template, and I love that it's very easy for me to drag in my ready to use images and use it for my YouTube thumbnails. So that's idea number 3, because if you're making a bunch of instructional videos for your students, you're going to want to put a thumbnail on there on your YouTube channel that makes it stand out so they know exactly what they're clicking on for videos if they need to go back and watch those. So that's idea number 3. All right. Idea number 4 is Google Classroom headers, because hello, most of us are using Google Classroom. I know in our district, that's what we're using, that and Microsoft Teams, but they added in Canva the option for Google Classroom headers, which means it's going to come in and it's going to be the exact size you need. And they're giving you templates and examples of what you can change out. So over there on the right-hand side, this is actually, I just did a little animated GIF scrolling through all of the options that are ready-made. So you can go, if you're not a designer, you can say, that's a really cool one. I like that. I want to change that out and use that one. So this is one that I created for just a general Tech Tips 411 Google Classroom. Now, I will tell you that when you create a custom header, whether you do it in Canva or you create one in Google Drawings or Google Slides, when you upload it to Google Classroom, I just had a teacher that messaged me. She made her magnificent header and slides, and then she's like, why is it gray? It grays it out. And that's why your colors are look muted in Google Classroom. That is an accessibility feature. It's not grayed out when they know that they've put the image in there and their screen reader is going to work. So therefore it's accessible. When you upload an image, they don't know whether or not it is. So it just automatically grays out to make sure that that title shows in the class. So if you ever wondered why it does that, that's why. But look at these awesome templates that you can use to get started to create classroom headers. For example, the teacher I just talked about, they use class colors to identify their classes, not just by first, second, and third period, because their classes usually in a regular school setting, they rotate. So they have red class, green class, yellow class, and blue class. So she was creating her custom headers with the color scheme and with some, images that indicate which class is which. So definitely check out the Google Classroom headers. The fact that there's templates in there really makes it a lot easier, because I have a lot of teachers that struggle with design. All right. Number 5, how about headers for other platforms that you're using, like Wakelet or even Flipgrid? You can create your own custom headers that you're going to use inside those platforms for your students so that your work stands out so that students can easily access content. So this is actually one that I created for my HyperDoc template that I have in Wakelet. So I made this header so it looks like a piece of notebook paper and the text stands out really well. I've got my information, my contact, and all that. And that's the image that I uploaded to Wakelet so that that stands as my image on Wakelet. Now, Wakelet and Flipgrid automatically give you images, but I just think this is a really cool way to jazz it up. Hey, good to see my teammate here. Look at this. Did you know how to stop your classroom headers from turning out darker once you upload them to the classroom? Yeah, so there was that question. The accessibility. So is there a way to turn that off? Is there a way? Because I thought that was accessibility. I think it'll turn off temporarily, but if you got the tip for that, I'd love to know that, because Natasha's a Google guru. So if you know the answer to how you turn that off and why they're not grayed out, because every time I do it, it kind of grays out. I know that if I use a lighter background, that kind of helps. So, so our idea number 5 was to make those headers for like Wakelet, Flipgrid, things like that. And what's great is once you go into Canva and, oh, you're asking me, I don't know. I thought you were saying you knew. I read somewhere about this is talking about the grayed out. Apparently there's a way to turn it off temporarily, but it's not off all the time. Again, it's an accessibility feature. And since we want to be accessible for our students, for all students, visual learners that might have visual discrimination issues, I'm going to just embrace that fact. And just in your design choice, remember it's going to gray it out a little bit. I wish they could be jazzy, but unfortunately not. But the other cool thing is that you can create in Canva multiple slides and turn it into an animated GIF. So you could have it at least spin and be jazzy if you want to make an animated GIF one. Okay. All right. So again, talking about number 5, if we've got Wakelet, we got Flipgrid, any of those, create a template that you can use that you can use very easily for those different platforms you're using. So idea number 5 is Wakelet, or a header for Wakelet or Flipgrid. So the other thing is, and most people didn't know this, you can make videos in Canva. So for those of you that got here right at the start of the video, there's my countdown video, and I made it here in Canva. I was able to add in my genmoji. I was able to add in my Tech Tips 411 logo and make the custom text. That animated color video background was from Canva. The spinning colors, all of that. All I did was bring in the countdown video with the time that I wanted, and Boom, there's my video. So if you want to make some cool videos for your students for countdowns or just placeholders or like commercial breaks during your online class, you can do that as well. So I would say idea number 6, videos, there's a lot of options. And when you upgrade to your Educator account, which I'm going to tell you here how to do that in a minute, you have access to all of their videos that they have in there, including music. So when you guys came into it, I've got really cool, that intro music, plus all the animations. All of this was created inside of Canva. So that's idea number 6. All right, idea number 7. When you upgrade to your Educator account, so you get the free account, which everybody needs to get the free account. But if you upgrade to the Educator account, it has built-in activities. They call them worksheets. I don't want to call them worksheets because you can take any of these and turn them into digital activities. These technically are meant to be printed, but you could download these as images and upload them to Google Slides and put in text boxes for students to fill these out online for your virtual classes. So they have a ton of them, and they have it by content area. So they had English worksheets, they had math worksheets. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but they're all editable. That's what's amazing. So you might like some of the questions on the worksheet, or you might want to do part of it, or you want to chunk it for your learners. You can pull up those activities that are in there under your education account. So I was really impressed with the activities that were in there. As a former ELA teacher, I was like, okay, these are pretty good. There's some good ones. Look at this. Active and passive voice activity. Awesome. So those are in there. Once you get upgrade to your Educator account, you'll see that available for you. Next up, Venn diagrams. Again, more interactive activities for you to push out to your students. Instead of just your stagnant, boring Venn diagrams, you've got some options. So we know our students need to be able to compare and contrast content in every subject. So for them to understand different content. And this is a really good option, that there's Venn diagrams are built in there that you can go in and customize them for the look and feel that you want for your students. And share these out with your students. So this is, again, included in Canva. I can customize any of these, but they're more visually engaging than just a basic Venn diagram that most of us have just handed out a handout that's just a white background, no visual. Like the colors, you can use colors to explain different concepts. And you've got the, the 3 Venn diagram too. So you've got different options here using the Venn diagrams, which is pretty cool. So that's idea number 8. All right, idea number 9, and a lot of people don't think about this, but actually Canva has a presentation builder. You can build your presentations inside of Canva and present from Canva, which is pretty cool. Or you can download it as a PowerPoint. So you can go in and get these amazing templates that are ready to go. Again, if you're not a designer, and you can have your students do this as well. When you upgrade to your Educator account, you can create classes and your students can create content. So they can go in and create their own presentations. And then they're focusing on the content, not as much the bells and whistles and the design, which, as much as I love design, my students would get bogged down with, well, what color here and what font there and what am I supposed to include? I want you to focus on the content. So they have a wealth of presentations. And what's great is you can present them with just a standard presentation mode. So it's very easy to share one screen in your Zoom or your Google Meet call with your students. In addition to that, it has a presenter mode, which means it's going to present the screen for students, and you can have your notes there for those teachers that as you're introducing new content and you need some guided notes for your help. That's option number 2. And option number 3 allows you to put a timed presentation. So that means if I want each slide to automatically change after 30 seconds. So if it's a quick write activity, I can say, all right, guys, you're going to get a vocabulary word and you got 30 seconds. I want you to write a sentence, and then the timer will change every 30 seconds or every minute. It's great for like a I can never say it, Pekakucha activity, which is the idea, like an Ignite talk where you have 20 slides, 20 seconds each. And so you have literally, it's really, really, really fast paced presentation style. So you can set that timing. So definitely check out the presentations in there because there's so many cool ones right here. Yeah. Like my teammate Natasha says, love so many choices. I went down the rabbit hole looking at all the options because there's such cool options available in there. All right. So I would be remiss if I did not mention, see here, I'm clicking along. There we go. Presentations. Idea number 10. The last one is infographics. So number 10, infographics is amazing in here because we want students to create content, and there's also things that you need to share with them. They have these beautiful infographic templates. So all you have to do is, I like the look of that one, I'm just going to change out the content. And actually some of the content's really good. You can use it as a teaching tool if you find one that you really, really like. So I found a bunch of them in there. I was scrolling through and I kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And as you can see, they keep going and going and going. So many options for infographics, because especially in our science and social studies classes where we're doing research and we need to put together information, and it's a great language art skill. In writing, you also need to be able to communicate your information effectively. So infographics is a great way to do that. So that's idea number 10. So I'd be remiss if I did not mention that one of my other favorite things I like about Canva is the fact that my genmoji lives in there. What that means is I can connect my Bitmoji, and my Bitmoji is going to live in there, and I can say, hey, I want to bring in genmoji for this presentation or this activity, and I can bring it in very, very easily. All right, so here we go. The Educator Account. I'm going to drop this link in the chat. And this is how you go and apply for your Educator Account. So for all the folks that are hanging out right here and live, I'll put the link in the description of the video for those that are watching it later. But if you apply, and this is just the form, it asks you, what do you teach? What school? How many students? And then a couple other questions, just some bio information. And then you need to upload evidence that you are a certified educator. And so, for example, my Georgia, I'm here in Georgia, my PSC, here's my certificate, shows I'm a certified educator. That works. Or a picture of your current school ID, upload that and submit it, apply. But the thing you have to do first, if you don't already have a Canva account, you want to create an account, because one of the questions asks, what is your current Canva account, so that we can upgrade it. And so it took about, I'm going to say less than 2 weeks. Like, I applied, I forgot about it. I was doing a training the other day and I logged into my Canva account to show it to the teachers. And it's like, welcome to Canva Education. And I did a happy dance. I was so excited, because that means when you upgrade, you're going to get all of the pro options for free. That means you're going to see all of the media, all of the background images, all of the video, music, all of that. You have access to everything. In addition to that, you have the ability to create classes and assign stuff to your students. And it has that direct connection to Google Classroom, which is pretty awesome. All right. Zone says this is pretty cool. Have you gotten some ideas? Are you excited to dive in and use Canva? All right. So I'm going to hop over here to my Canva account real quick. This is not a deep training. I'm just going to point out a couple of things that I wanted you to see. So I'm in my Canva account. And I can see all of my designs I can see here, but notice it's going to recommend some things. My current designs that I've been working on. Oh, awesome. Love. You'll be applying for the Educator Account. Awesome. I actually, when I sent out, tweeted out this session, they were kind of excited I was doing a Canvas session. So it's just a really powerful tool. I really do like it. And I love that they are giving back to educators, that if you're an educator, you can apply for that pro license and have the options. Oh, cool. All right. So you already got the regular Canva. So hit that apply so you can upgrade your account. So notice I've got all those education infographics available, resumes, teaching your students resume building. That's a skill. That's pretty cool. So as you can see, there's those math worksheets, classroom posters, all of that available. Any of those I can change. But I'm going to go up here and I'm going to say create a design, and it's going to recommend any of these options. And I can download or create so many different things. So I only highlighted 10. I mean, I could go down the rabbit hole with all the different things I could create on here. I did think it was funny. There was a CD cover. Is anyone still listening to CDs? I'm just curious. Good to see it. One of my teachers right there, Mr. Anderson, ready to apply. Make it happen. Awesome. Good. Get your account. And if you have any questions, let me know. So I can scroll through. I can find whatever I want. So for the purpose of this, I'm going to just go ahead and create a presentation. So it's going to be up here. And I'm going to hop into just a blank presentation and just point out a couple of the things that I think make Canva so cool. First of all, it's drag and drop interface. It's pretty intuitive. So even your younger students can figure it out. If they're 13 or over, they can apply for their own account. But if you get your educator account, again, you can assign assignments. So I can see over here, I've got a blank canvas, but I could go ahead and say, I want this guide right here. I can choose, there's 10 pages in this presentation. I can pick one or all of them to drop in here. So I can have access to all of those resources. And my internet's on the struggle bus today. Hang with me. So I just want to say apply all 10 pages. Okay. And it's going to drop those in to my presentation over here. I can go up here. I can change any element. So if I like some of this, but not all of it, I can change anything. Okay. I can change my text by selecting on it. I can choose different text. Okay. So you can go down the font rabbit hole if you're like me. Just click away and find so many different options. So I can choose my font. I can choose my size. I can choose my color. So you can get really creative. If you want to get into the branding so that it matches your school colors, you can do that as well. I can go over here to photos and search for photos, right? Oh, my friend Natasha wants to know, how do you link I'll show you where you link it here in just a second. That's a great question. So I can pull up any photos. I can search for any type of photo I want. I can embed any of these types of elements. Oh, that's awesome to know that they use Canva as well. That's great. I can search for shapes, frames, charts, grids. So if I'm a student and I'm creating a project, I can pull in and put in charts with my data. I've got gradients. I do love that they have, if you're doing if you're physically back to school and you need to make some posters about, safety, they've got over 213 elements related to coronavirus. So you can make some safety posters. That's pretty cool. So I can search through all of that. I can go to text. They've added in these really cool animated text now, but I can do headings. I can do font pairs. Again, go down the rabbit hole, find whatever you want. It's drag and drop. I just pull in what I want. I can go to styles. This is really good. If you do want to do color pairings, I can change this and it's going to change everything in the presentation to that color scheme. So that's really cool. On that slide, I want to make everything that color. I could do that, which is and I could say apply to all pages down here, and it's going to make everything those kind of blue colors. So it's changing that theme, which is kind of magical. All right. I do have access to music now. Under the free account, you get a handful of songs, but once you get upgraded, you get, they're good songs. I was impressed, but because they've been put in here, they're copyright appropriate, which means you don't have to worry about copyright violations for your videos using the music that's in here, because they're using a particular copyright approved service. So if you're worried about that, I can search videos. I can change my background. I can scroll down here. I can have folders and I can organize my stuff. So you can have stuff for, social media and stuff for class, stuff for your website. Hey, I showed my friend some stuff there. You've never clicked on the styles. Now you're going to go have some fun jazzing up your designs. Have fun. All right. So this down here under the more is where you can integrate with other apps. So you can actually link it to your social media account so that when I want this to post, I can post it directly to my Facebook. I can pull from my Google Drive. What's really cool is if you're doing this as a project with students and you want to have them use a particular bank of resources, you could create a shared folder in Google Drive, and then your students would log into link it to their Google Drive and find that shared folder, and they could pull in what they want. They've got gifts here. I can link to my Instagram, but there is that magic button. You just connect to your Bitmoji. Now, I will tell you this, you can't search it. It just pulls them in, and I can scroll through and find the ones I want. Okay. So once I find the one that I want, I always pull in this one as an example that says gym time, but let's be honest, I'm not really going to the gym. Let's see if we can find it. It's coming up here. I feel it. Let me see here. There it is. I always like this gym time one because it's gen time, not gym time. So I'm going to grab it in here. And what I can do is I can bring it in. And let's be honest, I'm not going to the gym. I can click on crop. So there is the ability to do some cropping. It's not like heavy level editing like you can do in slides, but I can do this and just pull this up just enough to take off the gym time. And now I've got this really cool. Yes, I'm excited. But I've cropped it. So you can do a little bit of cropping. You can't really change the shapes too much, but that is an option. So that's how you find your Bitmoji. So I know that Natasha is going to go link her Bitmoji, her Tasha emoji to Canva. So that's just kind of a little overview here. There's filters. You can adjust some things. You can group some things. Dive in if you want a deeper look into Canva. I've got a separate all about Canva training. The goal of this session was 10 ideas and just kind of like point out a few things in Canva. So did we get an idea? That's the question. At least one, because you can create classes and you can collaborate. That's the other powerful piece of Canva, is that I can share out mine. So by clicking on share, I could choose to share it with someone, and I could choose for you to either edit it or view it. So by editing it, that means we're now a team. We're working on it together. So I could send this to Natasha and say, hey, add to it. We're working on our presentation together. And when I'm ready to present this, I can click present and present it to my students right there, or I could download it. I also have students, I also have teachers that were working with Nearpod, and you want to really jazz up your Nearpod presentations. You could do the design in here and export things as images and bring those really cool images with your graphic designs into your Nearpod lesson as part of it, which is pretty cool. All right, awesome. So thank you guys so much for your time today. Our goal was 10 ideas. Did you get at least one, maybe two or more? So that was the goal for this session. This has been my 10 ideas series. I've got one more coming up. Let me know if you have any questions or comments in the chat. I would love to know it. If you're watching this from the future and you have a question, let me know. All right, that is high praise. Thank you, Tasha. I appreciate that so much. So do tune in tomorrow, the last of this 10 ideas, 10-part series. I'm going to end with Bitmoji because I have to talk Genmoji and share 10 ideas for using your Bitmoji. Thank you guys so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel or you haven't liked it on Facebook, please do so that you'll be notified for future PD sessions that I'm going to be doing. Thank you guys so much for your time. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you on the next one.